Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. All right. Hey, if you're watching us live right now, we are at the Indiana ChaserCon icebreaker. You guys breaking the ice? Yeah. A little bit. A few more drinks, and I think they're going to get a little bit more rowdier. That's how we're breaking the ice. But if you happen to be watching us, thanks for joining. This is an experiment tonight. We're going to see if we can put together a little bonus show, talking to some of the speakers, some of the guests here tonight at the Indiana ChaserCon social event. So thanks for joining us. I'm probably going to be in and out a little bit. You won't see us the whole time, but you can watch everybody mingle and eat in the background if nothing else. So thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Who knows what you're going to get? It's always a mystery. I'm going to get a drink. They got Oktoberfest here? All right, going to check my levels. Test. Check the levels. Test. That mic's a little hotter, but we'll go with it. I saw myself in the background there. Did you really? Yeah. It's a rainbow. Carrie brought it. What does it taste like?
tonight instead of like Thursday?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's an experiment. So we're gonna try
is the rest of them coming on?
No, it's just me.
Oh, okay.
But we thought, what the hell, we'll give it a shot.
I know.
Yeah.
Shit, we're all here anyway, right? Worst case is we just set it down.
Stay right here. Phil Johnson. Paul, you're my first victim right here. Come on over. Hot seat. You get the hot seat, my friend. All right. And before we get started, let me ask you this: how well do you know? How well do you know old school video games?
I can get down with it. 36.
Okay, you'll be
I'm
all right.
good.
You'll be all right. Okay, Paul, what's your last name?
Goddard.
He's the Pac-Man king.
Goddard. The Pac-Man what?
And what you putting this thing on, or what's the deal here?
I'm
Helping out with it.
co-owner of SBL Media.
Co-owner. All right, that's what I need to know. Alrighty, man. You got something to drink?
I do.
Good. All
I'm
right.
drinking Mountain Dew right now.
You
Although
want a
that's
beer?
not what I wanted to drink on your show, but
Do you want a beer?
what is it? What do we got?
Oktoberfest.
All right.
Let's do this. Been seeing a little bit. All right. Let's see. We're gonna do our intro song here. All right, so here we are. Welcome to the Stormfront Freaks podcast, the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is an experiment tonight. We're live at the Indiana ChaserCon 2018 Icebreaker. This is the social event before the event, so the big event's tomorrow. But we're going to have an opportunity to talk to some folks tonight, get to find out a little bit about who's here. And we're going to play a little lightning round in the process as well. So I am currently the first victim of the evening is Paul Goddard, who is co-owner.
Co-owner of SBL Media, Stormview
Okay.
Live.
So they're helping to put the event on tonight, the Icebreaker. We have bagels here. What else?
Bagels from New York. We got pizza on the way from Chicago.
Wow.
We got guys gathered around from all the country bringing the best of everything.
Perfect. Okay, so how did you guys in SVL get hooked up with the Indiana ChaserCon?
Well, a lot of our guys here are from Indiana, Illinois area, and we decided why not sponsor a huge event here and get a little more publicity out of everything and put on for a good cause here as well.
So how many chasers do you guys have with your outfit?
We have a little over 150 right now currently.
Okay, and spread out amongst the entire
Spread out
country?
the country.
Okay.
Minus Hawaii and Alaska where we like to fly to.
Okay, that's fair enough. I understand that. So what do you have to do if I'm a chaser and I'm interested in hooking up with you guys? How does that all work?
Contact me, Facebook, email, get a hold of me. I'll get all set up and
Okay.
get a little question done.
How would people get a hold of you?
Get a hold of me at paulgoddard.svlmediallc.com. That's my email, or Facebook. Just look me up on Paul Goddard. I got 2 pages. Find me on my personal page, send me a friend request, and I'll get you hooked up.
Okay. Is there any kind of what kind of equipment would I have to make it work?
Video camera is a good way to start things off. We are a licensing video company, so we broker everybody's chaser videos and try to knock out as much as we can off the public side of things and give people what they deserve for their viral videos.
So what if I'm new, what would be a basic camera you would recommend that I should try and at least get to make it happen?
I like all Sonys. Sonys are great. I use the Panasonic WX970, great 4K camera. But for a beginner, well, one of the old Sonys. B&H has some great things on sale for used products, but they work great.
Where you'd find them used?
Yes, at B&H.
Okay. What is that?
That's a huge camera store out in New York.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So what? Give us an idea of some of your more memorable chases.
Well, I'm kind of fresh to everything still, but some of my I live right here under the Lake Michigan here, outside of Chicago. But my big chase is going to be the blizzards, and the Rochelle tornado was a big tornado for me.
Okay.
Have a lot of fun out in the country chasing the little spin-ups and everything, but the highlight of it all, I guess, would be the Rochelle tornado.
And when was that?
2015, April 9th.
Okay. And what was most memorable about that? How did it work out for you?
It was my first time streaming, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
And huge tornado just happened to be, like I said, I'm a little less than 50 miles away from me, and it.
Oh wow.
First time streaming, I had a lot of viewers and worked out great, and that got me a little more into the video and editing part of storm chasing.
So when did you guys start SVL?
SVL was started 7 years ago now, and it started out just as a team. We weren't into the video side of things as far as licensing and selling goes, but we were live streaming, and we were doing that off TVN. Before that went down, then we went to Severe, and now we're streaming off Twitch.
Okay. How do you guys broker that? Who are you working with?
We work with the Weather Channel, ABC, NBC, all the main media outlets, and I want to say about 210 local outlets as well.
Now, is this pre-arranged before a storm, or are you trying to quick hit this stuff after you get the footage?
We do pre-arrange, and then it's quick hit and miss as we go, as far as being out there.
Okay.
And what our guys come across.
Okay. What would have been when you started this thing 7 years ago? How many chasers did you have hooked up?
There was 10 of us,
okay.
And about 15 admin staff as well, and they handle the promotions and the social media and the website chats, because as you guys know, chats get a lot of hands sometimes.
Yeah.
But they handle all that in the backside of things for us.
Okay. Good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do. We call this
Here we go.
our lightning round. Okay, so we do this every show, and it's our game show of, we call it flashy and brilliant questions, and it's far from that. But it's a game show that we always have with each of our guests. And so what we're doing with you, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. This was something we did back in episode 11 with Reed Stowe. Now, Reed Stowe is part of a company that's has been working on putting together a storm chasing video game.
Did that ever come out?
He's still in the process of working it. They've broke it out into two modules now. It seems pretty exciting. One's going to be kind of a more real-time chase, but the other is more of a kind of forecasting and looking to try and manage where you're going to go and targeting. So he's got 2 units, and then once he gets those 2 units, he's going to try and pull it together.
And this was what year?
This would have been episode 11, so this probably would have been our first year, 2016.
I remember hearing about that.
So anyway, so this is, here's what we're going to call this. This is classic arcade video games. All right, so basically there are 3 monetary categories. One is 25 cents, right? The other is 50 cents. You tell me, you want to start with 25-cent question, 50-cent question, or a 4.2 credit question?
Well, let's start in the middle at 50 cents.
All right, 50 cents. Here we go. Before going on to create bigger things, this individual, while working at Atari, conned his friend Steve Wozniak to create the video game Breakout.
I'm lost on this one. Can I phone an old friend?
You can't, not in Jeopardy. In Jeopardy, either get it or you don't.
I need somebody a little older than me for Atari.
All right, so that's Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs actually was with Atari for a couple years and helped develop. Actually, he didn't develop it. Steve Wozniak did. But okay, so next one, 25, 50, or 4.2 credits.
25 cents.
All
Let's
right,
go with Nintendo.
This game, released in 1981, was Nintendo's biggest arcade game and forced them into a lawsuit with Universal Studios over the rights to King Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Whoops, hold on. That is correct. That is Donkey Kong. Very good. All right, so we got another one at 25 cents, one at 50 cents, and one at 4.2 credits.
Let's give 50 cents another try.
All right, 50 cents. Last one in that category. The Disney movie. This could be a tough one. About a programmer that enters his video game creations to fight an evil master program, inspired an arcade video game of the same name by Bally Midway in 1982.
Oh.
1982. I heard Wreck-It Ralph in the crowd.
Disney.
Not 1982. to fight an evil master program inspired an arcade video game by the same name.
Oh, Double Dragon, Mario Brothers. I don't have it.
All right, that would be Tron. That would be
Tron.
Tron.
Another one I didn't play.
That's okay. All right, so we still got one at 25 cents, and we have two at 4.2 credits.
All right, 25 cents.
25 cents. Here we go.
Keep it cheap.
The 1981 game actually started out as a hack to Pac-Man, and once purchased by Namco, it became even a bigger seller than its male predecessor.
I guess that would be Miss Pac-Man.
And that would be correct. That is Ms. Pac-Man. All right, so the last two are at 4.2 credits. These could be these could be the tough ones. This 1983 sports game by Konami required rapid tapping of alternate buttons to increase player speed.
Techno football.
I'm not done, so I'll still give it to you. The constant pounding this machine took, it required them to later replace the buttons with a rolling trackball.
Oh.
And it wasn't the one that you said earlier.
I want to say golf.
Golf. That is correct. It would be track and field.
Track and field.
Track and field.
Who played
you had
that?
to tap those buttons.
Yeah.
I guess the old people did. All right, last one. Here we go. 1988 Russian game was released by Atari, but the concept of rotating falling bricks, which if stacked too high, would end the game. This was used by many companies in hardware versions.
Tetris.
That would be Tetris. You're strong, so that's what's important. And I'm not playing the game as well.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for coming.
All right. finished chewing, you're next. Yep, come on. We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game.
I'm not a chaser. I'm just a...
No, we're gonna play a game. It's not about the chasing. Yep. How you doing on your beer?
Not enough.
Okay.
A couple more.
You'll join us.
Yep. I'm the worst at it.
So here's the question.
I'm no good.
So here's the question for you guys. Would you rather play a game that has to do with dogs in movies and TV or Star Wars? Star Wars. Dogs, famous dogs in movie and TV. It's a good question. We'll see what else I got.
Are they allowed to have help from the audience?
Of course, of course. Top 10 best Elvis songs. What else we got? How about greatest cats in cartoon and comics? 10 best house pets. House pet. We'll do house pets. 10 best house pets. All right, come on over.
I'm no good at trivia.
Come on over. You can.
I'll be the worst partner ever. I don't want to leave it.
Well, you'll probably be next, so just keep that in mind. All right, come on over. Come on over, both of you. No, it's got to be two. You can't play this game with one person. It's got to be two. Come on. Come on, come on. All right, yeah. Okay. All right. Jacob? Or Jake?
Jake, whichever one.
Jake DeLong, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gina with a G
Yep.
and A. DeLong as well?
Yep.
Okay. All right. It's hard to get this thing turned the way I want it to. And I am barely on the screen, but that's okay. They don't need to see me. All right. So I'm here with a actual mother-daughter duo that are coming. I'm sorry, mother-son. Hold on. All right. We'll try that again. Okay. See, what's nice about a podcast is you can edit it before you actually send it up. So, all right. So we're here at the Indiana ChaserCon Icebreaker. And we're actually here with a mother and a son duo that have come to us from Dayton, Ohio, to Indianapolis. I've got Jake DeLong and Gina DeLong with us. What better way to enjoy a ChaserCon than to do it with a family? So I think that's great. So you're more the Chaser and weather fan, or are you also a bit of a weather fan?
It's more me.
Not even a fan of weather. Okay. So what? You're a fan, weather fan.
Yeah.
So what got you interested in weather and chasing and all that?
Well, I live near Dayton, Ohio, and Xenia per se. And 1974, the EF5 tornado, very historic storm came through, and I think seeing the history from that is what got me my first boost of interest. Later on in life, from that, I started watching Weather Channel shows all the time, and I guess I just kind of picked up on it just naturally. Honestly.
Okay.
So.
And so have you been, Gina, interested in weather once he started getting interested, or were you interested before?
I liked it before
Okay.
too, but-
So what's your interest in weather? Like how far does that go?
I mean,
What's
not
the
like
extent
he does.
of that?
He's more technical than I. I mean, I
Okay.
enjoy the, standing back and looking at it, but I don't want to get involved like he does.
Okay. Okay.
I'll stay in the back.
He's a big
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So here's the deal. So we play every show that we broadcast with one of our guests. We play what we call the lightning round. Okay. And so this is our game show of fun and brilliant questions that we do with our guests. And so what I'm going to pull from you guys, this is from episode 55. And we had Ashley Morris on the show, and she is an emergency manager down in Texas. She's also on the Carolina Weather Group podcast, if you're familiar with that at all. But what we played with her was we played a little version of Family Feud, and this was the top 10 best house pets from the top10.com. Okay, so here's you guys are going against each other. All right, so this is the top 10 answers are on the board. And I'll start with you, Jake, because you got the microphone. But you got to give me who would be the highest ranked on the top 10 best house pets.
Dog.
Dog? And that's number one. So that's the number one. So here's how Family Feud works. Since you can't beat one, you have the option, Jake. You can either keep and try and answer the other 9 before you get 3 strikes, or you can pass it to your mom, and she's got to try and get them all before 3 strikes, because once someone gets 3 strikes, the other person just has to answer 1 to steal it and win it.
All right.
So you can either keep it and try and get all 10 before 3, or you can pass it. What do you want to do?
Want to pass it?
That's your choice.
That's your choice. You got the decision. Either keep it or pass it to her.
You try to do it. Keep it. You keep it.
Keep it?
You
Okay.
keep it. All right, so he's going to keep it. All right, so
All right.
you currently have dogs, so that's number 1. Give me another one.
Cat.
Cats. And cats is number 2, so very good. You're on a roll. Let's go. What's another one?
Bird.
Birds. Birds is number 6. So you got 1, 2, and 6.
Turtle.
Turtle. Turtle is 9 on the list. It is. It's there.
Hamster.
Hamster. Number 4 on the list. So you still have 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10.
Fish.
I just want to say that was my
Fish. Fish is number 10 on the list. Very good. So you got 4 more. Rabbits. Oh, whoops.
Rabbits.
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 You got rabbits. That was a gimme. All right, but you don't have any strikes left, which is great. So you got number 5, 7, and 8 still on the board.
Lizards.
Lizards. That's another gimme. Good job. You got 2 more, 7 and 8.
Snakes.
Snakes is not on the list. That's your first strike.
Guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. Guinea pigs is number 7.
All right.
You got 1 left. 1 left. Number 8.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, ferret.
Ferret.
Yeah.
Got it. 12-10, baby. That's pretty good. And thanks to the crowd and thanks to me for helping you out. That was kind of a combination of Family Feud and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. All right, very good. Well, you guys enjoy your time. Thank you so much. Well done. Coming on, we can either do hurricane or supermodel, or a signature food dish in the states of Tornado and Dixie Isle. I've never changed. You can do either one. Right, I know. You can do either one. You guys come over. Come on over. So which one do you want to do? Hurricane. This is like $100,000 pyramid. We just kind of give you a title and you have to figure out which one. So it's hurricane or supermodel, or a signature dish for states in Tornado and Dixie Alley. So food or hurricane names. Hurricane names? All right.
Yeah, right. Remember, it spins counterclockwise.
I expect a lot of audience help.
All right. What's your last name? Moore?
Yeah.
All right, so here at Indiana ChaserCon, we're at the Icebreaker, and I am with Nathan Moore of SVL. What's your role with SVL besides probably chasing?
Well, I was the founder and
Hold
creator.
that a little closer.
Founder and creator.
Founder and creator.
Yep.
So why did you dish me off earlier when I came over and asked for people to talk to?
Well, Paul had shown some nervousness about wanting to do the podcast, so I immediately wanted to
So it was
point
like
him out.
you saw it was like a victim you
Yes,
saw in his
absolutely.
eyes and
Jump
out.
all over it.
So what got you the idea of starting the SVL company?
Well, it was this, you know, it was more of a thing where I wanted to be focused on live streaming. I really get a kick out of people being able to see what is out there on the plains compared to, you know, if they live in England, they live in Australia, they live wherever they may live, they don't get to see it. I enjoy bringing that to them. So that's kind of where it started. I wanted people that not only went out there and chased, but they also focused on, you know, doing it. It's almost like a customer service thing. You focus on talking to the audience and those people that are watching and teaching them and showing them what they're doing. So that's kind of why it started.
What was your technical expertise to even create that? Because there's got to be some technical understanding to develop that.
I work for the University of Nebraska IT department. So that's my main job.
All right, so that helps.
Yeah, and so it's just I like talking to people. I like being around people. And I want to, you know, this is what we do.
So how long have you been chasing?
25 years.
Wow. Okay. So you started when? How old were you?
Oh God. Well,
hopefully at least 16 to
it was
drive.
91
drive
was
a
the
car?
plane. 91 was really the
Yep.
Plainfield tornado got me into it here in Illinois.
Really? Okay.
I'm from Chicago, so
got it. Okay.
that's what got me into it. It really got serious in 1998. There was a tornado by Ellsworth Air Force Base in Rapid City. That's really where it kind of went nuts with me.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So what's the future of SVL Media?
Well, we're just, you know,
what do you guys have planned or what's coming down?
You know, what it boils down to is I just wanted to take care of our people. You know, everybody knows storm chasing is really expensive. We all got to take care of our people. So it's just, you know, trying to help out our guys. You know, we were new, and we got a lot of young people, as you just talked to Jake, a lot of young people that just, you know, they don't know. So we took it upon ourselves to learn and help others who aren't getting help and get paid a little bit. That helps.
So how much time does this take if you've got a full-time job still at University of Nebraska? How much time does this take outside of that?
I'm also a single father of 2 children.
Okay.
And I work there, but I'm great. I got Paul and I got Carrie Meltzer, a couple of co-owners with me that I've brought on, and they're awesome. They do a tremendous amount to help me out. They've kind of taken over the video side of things, or I just focus on the live streaming.
Oh, okay.
And we do everything on Twitch now, which is just absolutely amazing.
When did you start that?
It's been about a year and a half now.
Okay. Okay.
And I did the storm chasing on Twitch live for about a year, but Twitch was having a hard time grasping the danger and everything that going on with it, and they finally decided, you know, we're gonna push this, and they introduced the IRL channel, which is just awesome. And you know, why pay to go stream on a platform when you can get paid to chase? So it's a great deal.
Okay. Well, very good. So as I told you, and you've probably heard, we have what's called the lightning round of the show. So again, every show we do this with our guests. We play a little game show. And you have chosen, this comes from episode 29 when we had Mark Suddeth on the show. Mark is one that works with the Weather Channel and other entities.
Okay.
And he puts up, when hurricanes are coming in, he places cameras at multiple locations, sets it and forgets it, kind of leaves, and then goes back to get them later on. So he was talking about that setup.
All right.
But what we're going to play is what's called, and we've done this a couple times now, but it's called Hurricane or Supermodel. Hurricane or Supermodel. Now, you've got the benefit, when we did this with Mark, we were talking about 2018 hurricanes, because this is in 2017. So these are 2018 hurricane names that will be a little bit easier because they've already happened, right? But I'm going to give you a name, and you just have to tell me, is it a 2018 hurricane, or is it a supermodel name? And these are real supermodels, too.
All
All right, so we're going to start the first one off. Oscar, is that a hurricane or a supermodel? Oscar.
Hurricane.
Hurricane? That is correct. That is a hurricane. All right, next one. Patty, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
Patty was a 2018 hurricane. All right.
Where was that one at? Oh, is that not happened yet? All right.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet? Okay, I didn't even know that. Okay, so it's coming. That's a future
That's
one.
probably why I didn't.
All right, so Jerry, is that a supermodel or a hurricane?
Hurricane.
Jerry Hall is a supermodel. I think she married Mick Jagger, if I'm correct.
Jerry Hall. Huh?
All right, Isaac, hurricane or supermodel?
Hurricane.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. All right, Linda, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
Linda Evangelista is a supermodel, correct. Sean, hurricane or supermodel?
I'm going to go hurricane.
Sean O'Pry is a supermodel. All right, David, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
David Gandy is a supermodel. Raphael, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
That catches you right there. Raphael is kind of a supermodel name, but is actually a name of a could be a name of 2018 hurricane. Nadine, hurricane or supermodel?
Hurricane.
That is a hurricane. I remember when I pronounced this on the show and I totally botched it, but it is Giselle, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
Supermodel. She's the one married to Tom Brady.
Yep.
I said Giesel. and I'm even 50% German, too, and I said Giesel. All right, Cindy, supermodel or hurricane?
Hurricane.
Cindy Crawford is a supermodel.
I thought there was a Hurricane Cindy this year.
All right, William, hurricane or supermodel?
Hurricane.
That is a hurricane. We got Alex, hurricane or supermodel?
Help. Anybody? Hurricane.
Said hurricane. That is incorrect. Alex Lundqvist, supermodel. All right, Stephanie, hurricane or supermodel?
Supermodel.
Stephanie Seymour, very good. Alberto.
That's hurricane.
That is a hurricane. How about Heidi?
Supermodel.
Heidi Klum is a supermodel. All right, here's a tough one. Tough one, everybody. Florence, hurricane or supermodel?
Hurricane.
That would be. There's probably a hurricane somewhere named, or a supermodel named Florence. All right, three more. Helene. What was it? How was it pronounced? Helene.
Hurricane.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Here's another tough one. Michael.
Hurricane.
Look at that. You're on a roll. Last one. Tony.
Supermodel.
Tony is a hurricane and a supermodel. Tony Ward, so you would have had it either way. Well done. It's good.
Apparently they already got the bar.
Anybody else here a mother? Mother? Anybody? Mother? Mom? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, but no one's watching. I'm lying. Some are, but.
Yeah, we're mothers.
Beautiful. How many?
I have 4.
Wow. Okay. Ages?
God, I don't know. 19,
I'm gonna give
14,
you a
10, and 8.
19, 14, 10, and 8. How many kids do you have? Twins. How old are they?
They'll be 9.
Okay.
They're 8.
Wow. All right. So let me get your names again. Beth.
Yes.
Last name.
Trila,
T-R-I-O.
T-R-I-O-L-E-T.
Oh, you're gonna hate me.
Triolet. Triolet.
Let me just do it for you.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Hold. Here, try me. It's that bad. And it didn't get better when I got married.
Mary Ann Rampersad. Rampersad. Mary Ann Rampersad. Where are you guys from?
Windsor, Ontario.
Both of you are? Really? So okay. Start with you. All right, so we are. I'm gonna botch this. Forgive me, but we're here with Beth Triolet. Triolet. Okay. It's Canadian. That's why I'm screwing it up, right? It's totally foreign country. And Mary Ann Rampersad. Okay. And they're coming to us from again. Where in Canada?
Windsor, Ontario.
Windsor, Ontario. I've been there actually. Windsor. What's there besides the casino? There's got to be something else there now, right?
Tornadoes lately.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So how long was the trip for you guys? Hold the microphone a little closer. Okay.
5.5 hours.
And when did you come down?
Just today.
Okay. So not too bad. So what brings you guys from Windsor down to Indiana ChaserCon?
You want me to? She doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're fairly new to the storm chasing
Okay.
kind of group. We've been practice chasing for a good 4 or 5 years. Last 2 years, we've gotten a little bit more intense about it.
So tell me what practice chasing is, because there's probably people that would want to know. Hey,
More so
what is that, and how can I do that too?
following the damage.
Okay.
Right, so we followed local, like these area local storm chasers, Windsor and Ontario local storm chasers, and kind of saw their methodology and have sort of self-taught ourselves by looking at books, looking at stuff at the internet. I did take some things in university, but I don't remember any of it.
Okay. That's usually what happens. Yeah.
So basically, right now we've mostly been documenting damage, but we're getting better and better at getting out there ahead of things. So
Okay.
we're hoping to learn while we're here.
Cool.
To do that better.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Do you guys tend to chase together when you can?
Definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So how long have you been interested in weather? Like, what made you go, cool, hey, I
Well-
think I want to actually chase now, or was it?
Right, because like I was always interested. That's why I kind of followed that a little bit at the U.
Yeah.
But I would say a good 4 or 5 years ago, I used to be terrified of storms,
Hmm.
and in trying to change that fear, I developed a respect and a passion for it.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of intense tornadoes hit in the area, and we just wanted to, let's say, close the gaps in communication, because in Canada, it's not always very well warned.
Oh, serious? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times the
Okay.
warning comes after the tornado's on the ground. So
That doesn't warn very well, then, does
no,
it?
and it's warned on a very broad geographical basis rather
Okay.
than by towns or small communities.
Sure.
So you could have 1 million people taking shelter for
right.
a storm that might only affect 500.
What's the road network like up in that part of Canada?
So it's a little more difficult because of our geography, right? We have a river bordering us coming from Michigan. We have a lake to the south coming from Ohio. So anything coming at us, we're right in the path if
Yeah.
we're hoping to chase. So we kind of have to wait till it's gone over us and hope that it's following the same direction the roads go,
Yeah, true.
right?
That
so,
makes sense.
but in that sense, stuff has happened, and we're hoping to help people be better informed.
Okay. Beth, how about you? When did you start an interest in weather and
I've
eventually
always
chasing?
wanted to be part of weather. I've always say I missed my calling.
Oh.
But about 2010 is when the big tornadoes came through. That made me more aware that you need to educate yourself. You can't rely all the time on news medias. So that's
Okay.
when we start learning how to more read radar and protect ourselves.
Okay. What do you do besides chasing? What else do you do?
Me and Marianne are cousins. We
Yes.
work at the same job. We do the same field.
Oh my God, really?
So we're
Wow, I guess. Okay. So what do you do work-wise? What do
we
you do?
both have our families, and then we
Yep.
both also work in group homes with people with disabilities.
Got it. Okay.
So chasing too can be hard because a lot of times we're busy caring
Yeah,
for
you
somebody.
can't just leave when all of a sudden there might be some weather in
Yeah.
the area. Okay. Well, so one of the things we're going to do, and one of the reasons I brought you guys over, is to do our lightning round. So again, we do this with every single one of our guests on every show. And I had asked who we had in the audience that were mothers, because we did this back on episode 44, with Ginger Z was on our show, and she at the time was pregnant, was about to have another child. But this is we called this Identify the Baby Product. So but your mother. So this is gonna be close enough, right? It's gonna be the best thing we can do. So here's what it is. I'm gonna give you the name of a baby product, and then I'm gonna give you two options, and then between the two of you, you just have to decide which of the two options it is. Make sense? All right. So the first one is called the Baby Keeper. Now the Baby Keeper is either a bathroom baby harness or it's a baby document storage binder. The Baby Keeper.
Binder.
You gonna go with the binder? You'd be wrong.
You're pretty confident in that.
The Baby Keeper is actually a bathroom baby harness. So when you use a public restroom, and you hang this harness from the door of the stall, and you let your baby sit there while you sit and do your business. That's
we didn't do that.
we didn't have that either. So all right, next one. It's called Infant Breeze. This is either a baby butt fan or a gassy baby perfume. Infant Breeze, a baby butt fan or gassy baby perfume.
I don't know. Now we're just spooked.
What do you think? Take a guess.
Fan.
You can say baby butt fan, and you would be correct. It's a baby butt fan to blow apparently on your baby's butt to air it out, right? All right, next one. The Buster Cleaner. The Buster Cleaner, it is either a ride-on toddler vacuum or it is a penis cover.
No, because that's a PPTP. So it's got to be the vacuum.
You're going to say the ride-on toddler vacuum, and you would be correct. And I'll tell you this, Ginger Z got the TPPP correct as well. She knew that's not what it was. So good job. All right, next one, Nurse Me Tender. This is either a breast-size bottle cap or it's a breastfeeding simulator for men. Nurse Me Tender.
I feel like it's the men one. I don't know. What do you think? Pick. You pick.
What do you think,
You pick.
Beth?
First one.
You think it's the breast-sized bottle cap? Incorrect. It's a breastfeeding simulator for men, because the dads always feel out of it, right? It's like they don't get to participate. So, all right, next one we got called the Peter Potty. This is a toilet training doll, or it is a toddler urinal. It's the Peter Potty.
The one that goes on the wall.
If it's a Peter, it's a boy. So urinal.
You're gonna say a toddler urinal? You would be correct. Toddler urinal. All right, 4 more. The Ritmo Advanced Pregnancy Sound System. This is a wearable belly belt speaker, or it's an underwater bath speaker. The Advanced Pregnancy Sound System. Belly belt speaker or underwater bath speaker?
Belly.
You're going to say it's the wearable belly belt speaker. You would be correct. You guys are moms. You're picking this up. All right. The Snot Sucker. Everybody's got to have one of these.
Yeah.
It is either a nasal mouth-powered aspirator, or it's a morning sickness candy. The Snot Sucker. It's an aspirator. You're correct. But it's a mouth. This is what's a little. Yeah, it's like you got to suck and. Okay. 2 more. The Crumb Cap is either a snack and juice container, or it's a bib for their head and hair. The Crumb Cap. Snack and juice container or bib for their head and hair.
Head and hair. I don't know.
I would say that.
Bib for their head and hair.
Yeah.
You guys are on a roll. Let's finish strong. Last one. Last one is the iPotty. iPotty. It's a toddler toilet with an iPad holder, or it's a surprise toy reward system for toilet training. The iPotty.
I don't know.
So what's the second one? Was
Second one is a surprise toy reward system for toilet training.
first one?
You're going to say it's the toddler toilet with iPad holder, the iPotty, and you would be correct. Normal. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 in a row. Well done. All right. pretty much any of them we're on. Yes, correct. We're also on Spotify, on stuff like that. So just all you got to do is search Stormfront Freaks, and we'll be on there. You can subscribe and everything else. I did. I've been to Windsor twice, and I'm trying to think. One was on pleasure when we were up in Detroit for an auto show, and another time was for business. And what were we doing in Windsor? But we had some conference or something, and it was in Windsor, and so we were over there.
We always get like the GTA, like Mark Robinson down.
Oh yeah, really? Okay. Okay.
We run into him a couple times out there.
No kidding. Okay. How often do you guys run into other chasers while you're out on a storm?
Sometimes we chase the chasers.
Yeah. Well, that's sometimes right.
It might be the way that we learn.
Yep.
I mean, but everybody's watching the same radar.
Right.
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 So, yeah. A couple times a year.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, we'll see you guys around. Yep. Thank you. And we are live on that. All right, I got to find a game here. What we're going to play with you guys. I've got, because sometimes we've had chase teams on before. We've had, which you probably know. So sometimes we got games that multiple people can play. All right, let's do, that's not a good one. All right, we're going to do this one. All right, let me get your names again.
We got Nick Dunn, Nickdunn.
Okay.
And it's B-R-A-N-T.
Brank?
Brant with the T.
B-R-A-N-T. Sorry. I thought it was C. I'm like, oh, that's going to be hard to say. All right. Brant, what's the last name?
Warren.
Warren.
W-A-R-R-E-N.
Okay. You guys are both from Columbus, right?
Yep.
Columbus area, yep.
Columbus area. Fair enough.
I live 30 minutes south, but...
I always say, like, I live just a little north of Cincinnati, but I always say Cincinnati because no one will know where Mainville is. But okay, all right, so we're here with Nick Dunn and Brant Warren. Both these guys are here at the Indiana ChaserCon. We're at the Icebreaker event, and you guys are from Columbus, Ohio, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
All right, so talking with you a little bit earlier, you guys have developed and worked together with a network of other people to develop a Facebook group. Is that right?
Yeah, basically.
So tell us a little bit about that and explain to our listeners what this is.
Yeah, so Bell Park Media is a network of Facebook pages that are mainly devoted to weather, but we've been infiltrating some news as of late. We are always live for severe weather events. We have a severe weather analyst as well with the Skywarn. We have a guy that's dedicated to Sandusky County Skywarn, so that's kind of a nice addition to have.
Nice, yeah.
Also kind of helps us understand severe weather side as well. We have just added one degreed meteorologist as of recently, Kyle Adams, but the rest of us are just very high enthusiasts. We've got a high drive for weather. We strive to have the most accurate forecasts every single day. It has been really remarkable over the last 7 years. My page alone just crossed 50,000 likes within the last month or so.
Nice.
And Brant's page here is a little bit smaller, but all of us together are up over 100,000 likes. And Brant, you and I have been friends for a long, long time.
So yeah, Brant, so tell us a little bit, how'd you guys get hooked up and how'd you get a...
So
this is really cool.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Was it Eric Elwell?
It was.
Okay, so Eric Elwell had made a post about Montgomery County and Hamilton County having excessive heat warnings, and everybody else had heat advisories. And Nick had asked the question, why does two counties get excessive heat warnings when the conditions around the counties are, the same for everybody else? And I saw the comment, and I decided, well, I'm not much of a, I don't know exactly, I'm not a degreed in meteorology, but I can answer his question for him. So I explained to him that the conditions are different because of the population sizes in those two counties accounts for the reason that they get excessive heat warnings. And he said, he kind of commented back, and he was like, well, thank you. Are you a weather enthusiast too? And I said, yes. And he said, well, cool, you should be on my page. So that's basically how it all started.
Okay. Now, were you involved in doing any chasing prior to that?
No.
That's where it started.
I think at the time I was a sophomore in high school, so I didn't have my driver's license at the time. But I was definitely into weather long before that.
Okay. So what do you enjoy about chasing yourself? What is it that attracted you to that? And
just the... That's a tough question. Just the the unpredictability, and also the actually being there in person to seeing it. Because, like, you see tornadoes or thunderstorms on TV, it is completely different in person when you actually see the storms and what they're doing. So.
Okay. So Nick, tell us a little bit too about what your interest is, but then piggyback on that.
Yeah.
How you've developed now Facebook Live and how you're using that in the group.
So I'll piggyback off his chasing question, which you had asked him. So I'm sure everybody remembers November of last year was quite an interesting event. It was one that had a lot of unpredictability with it. It was probably one of my scariest days. I was down in Sheridan, Indiana. There never was an official tornado confirmed. We got a radar picture, though, that would say otherwise. And we had damage pictures that would say otherwise, but we definitely were sideswiped by it. Very, very scary. But prior to that, I've always had a really, just kind of like an awe, if you will, of Mother Nature. Just the sheer power, whether it's sunny and 75 for a week, or you can go from that to flash flooding. Ohio weather's unpredictable as it is. Everybody knows that. It's very unpredictable. I mean, we had ice to start the day yesterday.
Yep.
We had rain, and then we had snow at the end. So, just the sheer unpredictability of that. But November of last year was kind of I've kind of decided to take a step back from chasing for the most part. I'm devoted to Facebook at this point, and Facebook Live gives you a really nice opportunity to touch base with your fans and to touch base with people who really need to know what the weather is in their area, what can they expect, and just giving that personal touch to people, because not everybody likes to watch weather on TV. I think social media, I'm sure Brant, you agree, and I'm not sure if maybe you do. I think social media is going to eventually be the way that everybody gets weather. I mean, you've got things like your podcast, you've got multiple Facebook pages, and I know not every meteorologist is real high on that.
Right.
You know, some people say, I don't want to deal with it, but you know, there are some that actually do. I have several meteorologists that actually follow my page in particular, but you know, once Facebook Live started coming out, understanding that, of course, you've got a bunch of radar softwares out there, you tie those two things together, and you know, sure, everybody can go on TV. You know, everybody can get all their answers and stuff on TV, but Facebook Live has been a really big part of what we do. We also do what's called a nerd herd report. When there's a big weather system coming in, we'll get on a couple days in advance and start talking about it as a team and kind of dive into the science. And I really like your shirt. Only you can prevent weather fools. I had to say that. So, but
we were sitting over here, and you stood up, and he's like, "Hey, his shirt says only you can prevent #weather fools." And I was like, I really like that.
Yeah,
so.
we got these from, you guys know HelicityDesigns.com.
Yep, I do.
They now do all of our merch, and they came up with that. It was kind
That's
of a
awesome.
neat idea. But
that is awesome. But yeah, that's kind of where we stand in terms of the future.
I think it's good. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and you know, we may not ever be on TV ever, but our goal is to just continue to provide people with a weather forecast that's most accurate. I post a morning outlook every day. We do 7-day forecasts 2 to 3 times a week. Anytime there's a severe weather event, like he said, if I'm not there, I'm I usually take the lead on the Facebook Live. I have a bunch of radar softwares. Been a weather geek for a long, long time, just like I know Brant has, and I'm sure you have too.
Right. Well, good. All right. So
awesome.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna play a little bit of our lightning round. So if you guys follow the show, we do this with every guest.
Yep.
It's a little game show that we tend to play. So we got 2 of you today. So this is one we did back in episode 21 with Dr. Laura Myers, who is a social scientist. But she does a lot of studies on weather and weather warnings and how people react to those. It was a really good episode, but we called this Minute to Win It. And so I'll start with you since you got the microphone. Here's the goal, minute to win it. I'm basically going to give you, I'll say 15, 20 seconds. And you basically, I'm going to give you a category, and you got to come up with as many names in this category as possible in that time period. Then we'll turn it over, and we got a different category for you. And but same thing, I'll give you a few minutes, and we'll see who can come up with the most in this particular situation. So yours is going to be the greatest cats in cartoons and comics.
Ooh.
The greatest cats in cartoons and comics. This is by Ranker.com, and I've got the top 10. All right.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I would think Garfield.
Garfield.
What about Puss in Boots?
Okay.
Tom from Tom and Jerry.
Keep going.
Greatest cats. Boy, this is not my top category. But
cartoons or comics. You can also think movies, animated movies. If that helps.
No, I'm actually drawing a little bit of a blank on that one.
All right. So,
Yeah.
all right,
that's
so here
right.
you said you got Tom.
Yep.
From Tom and Jerry, you got Garfield.
Yep.
And the third one, you got 3. So you also got Puss in Boots.
Yep.
Puss in Boots. The ones you missed.
Yep.
Simba.
From the Lion
Sylvester.
King. Yes. Sylvester.
Pink Panther.
Oh wow.
Tigger.
Ooh.
Bagheera from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbs. All right. So we got 3.
Interesting.
All right. So you got
Nothing
3.
wrong with
So
that.
so the goal is you got to beat 3, Brant. So turn the mic over.
See what I can do to help.
All right. So here's
I don't want help.
Brant, here's yours. So I've got the top 10 answers. Again, this is from comicvine.com. Animal-themed superheroes. Animal-themed superheroes. Ready? Go.
I don't know of any.
Animal-themed superheroes.
I don't know
Think
of
any
any.
superhero that's got an animal in its name. Something man, something woman.
Catwoman.
Catwoman. What else?
I don't know.
I'll add this. Also think insects are animals too.
Oh,
help?
I got it. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Catwoman and Spider-Man. That's all. I
So you got
Yours was
2.
easier.
What easier? It kind of depends, right?
well,
it depends a little bit.
Yeah.
It does.
It wasn't much easier, but I mean it was easier.
Nick is our winner. So here's the ones you missed. All right, you missed Wolverine. You got Spider-Man and Catwoman. You missed Batman. You missed Robin. The Penguin. Sabretooth. Hawkeye. Black Widow. And Black Panther.
See, I wouldn't have gotten one of those. I'm not a very big comic fan, so that's why it was hard.
Not big Marvel movies. Well, that's good. Guys, great job. Thanks for talking with me. Gentlemen, you're fine. Come play a game. Come have a seat. That is yours. I gotta find.
Oh, you got the cool flag and everything.
I know.
I'm compressed.
We're intense. All right, I gotta find a good game for you here. Hold on. I can do. I've got a little more options with you because you probably got a little more history than some of these younger bucks.
That doesn't mean I know anything.
Are you somewhat of an Elvis fan at all?
Not at all.
Food?
Sort of.
Okay.
What
Let's
are my
do.
other choices?
All right, we're gonna do this one with you. All right, so here at the Indiana ChaserCon, we are with Jay Farlow, and I know Jay, you're up in northern Indiana, but whereabouts?
That's right, Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. Okay.
Second largest city in the state.
So tell us a little bit about, because I know you do some net controlling and things like that with your Skywarn network.
That's
correct?
right. That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the season. What was the season like this past?
It was super quiet.
spring?
It's just as quiet in Fort Wayne, northern Indiana, as it's been every place else. We were looking forward to testing a new communication tool that I talked about at this conference last year. You may recall I talked about how our local weather forecast office is experimenting with a tool called Zello, which enables people who aren't ham radio operators to report to the WFO just like hams do.
How? Tell us a little bit about that for people that maybe don't know.
Oh, yeah, sure. So Zello is an app you can put on your smartphone. And they have Android and iOS versions. They even have a Windows version. You can put it on your computer. And it makes your device act like a two-way radio, with a push-to-talk button and everything. And you can set up discrete channels, and so that only the people on that channel hear you, and you only hear the people on that channel. You can make your channels private if you want, so that only people you admit can even listen or use the channel. And we used that tool during the big tornado outbreak in Indiana in August of 2016, August 24, 2016. That year, that day, we had an EF3 strike the Allen County just northeast of Fort Wayne. In fact, if that tornado had touched down 15 minutes earlier, it would have gone right through the center of Fort Wayne with an EF3.
Really?
So we were really blessed that it held off until it got to the other side of town.
Okay.
Anyway, on that day, we experimented with using Zello to gather spotter reports from chasers and spotters out in the field who were not ham radio operators. And because I'm a ham radio net controller, I have access to what the Weather Service calls NWS Chat, which is their internal text chat system. And so I was able to pick up some of those reports from chasers I had developed relationships with at this very conference.
Oh, right, okay.
And relay their reports directly in the NWS Chat. By the end of the day, I had relayed 50-some reports. And the WFO in Northern Indiana said that those reports were just invaluable when it came to issuing timely tornado warnings that day. So we had hoped this year, to get back to your question,
right.
We had hoped this year to expand that testing, because since then we created a special channel just for that WFO.
Okay.
It's called IWX Skywarn, because IWX is the 3-letter abbreviation for that weather forecast office. So we had hoped to give that a good test this season, and there just wasn't enough activity to really test it.
Really? So
No.
how many times was it out in the field at least? Did you get
Two
any opportunities?
2 or 3 times all season it was even used.
Okay. So safe to say it's still going to be in test format next year?
Yeah. As far as I know, the WFO has no plans to abandon their test. It's experimental. It's not officially sanctioned by the National Weather Service yet.
Right.
So they have to be careful how they talk about it, because of government politics and
Do you
everything.
know if any other WFO is using
Not that I
anything
know
like
of.
this, or- okay.
It's possible, but not that I know
Okay.
of.
It's all under hush-hush, under the cover, so you wouldn't know. All right, well, Jay, we have got, as you might be familiar with, we've got what we call the lightning round. We play this every game with every guest that we have on the show. And we have got, this is from, I'm going to share with you, this is from episode 45. We had the Storm Warriors, Bill Ford and Mike Pendergast were on the show. They're from Texas. And we played, this was called Thrillist's Most Iconic Restaurants in Every State.
All right.
So this is from their Thrillist.com. They basically took all 50 states and picked the restaurant that's most iconic for that state. So we're going to be specific to the Midwest and kind of Tornado Alley area.
All right.
Okay, so here are the states: Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, Illinois, and Iowa.
No Indiana.
No Indiana in this
Oh,
one.
geez. What's wrong with this
funny.
game?
We catch crap when we use Indiana, we catch crap when we don't use Indiana. But recent studies show that obviously that increase of tornadoes keeps moving further east, right? So it's just a matter of time before Tornado Alley changes. All right, so here we go. Here's what we're going to do with this. I'm going to give you the name of the restaurant, tell you what it's all about, and you got to tell me which state you think that's from.
All right.
All right? First one is Buckhorn Exchange. This is giant portions of steak and other wild game. So is this Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, Illinois, or Iowa?
I've never heard of them, but you used the word giant.
Giant.
And everything's supposed to be bigger in Texas, so for that reason, I'm going to guess Texas.
You're going to say Texas?
Yep.
That would be incorrect. That would be, this is in Denver, Colorado.
All right.
Denver, Colorado. Can't find my pen. All right. So Colorado's off the board, right? Next one is Gene and Jude's. These are hot dogs piled high. Gene and Jude's. Iconic, is this iconic in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, or Iowa?
I'm going to guess Nebraska. It's a wild guess.
Nebraska, just wild guess? That would be incorrect. Think Chicago hot dogs.
Okay.
Illinois.
All right.
So that Gene and Jude's is Illinois. All right, so Illinois is off the board. Now we got the Northwestern Steakhouse. This is Greek-style steaks. Northwestern Steakhouse. So Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, or Iowa?
I'll guess Iowa.
You would be correct.
Got
That
one.
is Iowa, Mason City, Iowa.
It's just
at
a
the
wild-ass guess, all of
northwest-
these, so.
That's all right. Sometimes, what do they say? Sometimes even what is it? What's that saying?
I don't know yet. You got to give me more. You got to give me more to work with.
Sometimes even something gets it right once. Oh, sometimes even a broken clock gets the time right twice
Twice a day, right. There you
Yeah,
go. Okay.
Wow, that was too hard.
I was afraid for a moment that you were going to say
here we go.
sometimes
It
a
should be.
meteorologist
It
gets the
should be.
forecast right.
All right, the Cozy Inn, famous for its sliders. The Cozy Inn
Sliders.
Is either Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, or Nebraska.
Let's guess Missouri.
The Cozy Inn, you say Missouri. That would be incorrect. It's Salina, Kansas.
All right.
Salina, Kansas. So we got 4 more. This one is Arthur Bryant's. It's known for its slow-cooked barbecue. We're Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, or Nebraska.
I know that barbecue is big in Missouri, so I'll go with Missouri.
You can go with Missouri? You'd be correct in Kansas City, Missouri, right? Good old barbecue, Kansas City, Missouri. Good job. All right, 3 left. We got the Drover Restaurant and Lounge, known for its whiskey steaks. This is either Texas, Oklahoma, or Nebraska. The Drover Restaurant and Lounge.
Let's go with Texas.
You can go with Texas. Incorrect. That would be Omaha, Nebraska.
All right.
It's got the whiskey steaks. 2 more. Again, and we're down to Oklahoma and Texas are 2 options. This is the Cattleman Steakhouse, famous for ribeye steaks for dinner and breakfast. So we're either Oklahoma or Texas.
I'll go with Texas again. All right.
Correct. The Cattleman Steakhouse is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And the last one is Salt Lick, known for its smoking pit brisket.
Oh, Texas, obviously. You should have given me that one first. That was an easy one.
Well, good job. You actually did pretty good on that. So I think you guessed Texas on probably 5 of the 10.
Yeah, well.
But you got it right once. Right?
It had to be one of
Good
them.
job.
All right. Phil, good to see you. Take care.
It is called Boss Jock Junior, and so I've got that just hooked into the mixer, and I can put a few. I mean, it only has room for 8 different sounds, but I don't need that many anyway.
You use that during the podcast too?
I do. Yeah. Yep. To play. Use it to play the lightning round. Laugh on their own, and I haven't had to do the crowd laugh, but it adds a little something. The benefit is it helps my brother Mark, who's also on the show.
He does post-production, right?
He does the post-production, so it helps him. We used to edit that stuff in until I got the mixer and that stuff. Yeah, so he'd have to add a clap every time we come in and a buzzer or a beep, so it saved time for him.
So are you leaving the stream run the whole time?
Yeah, so we're just leaving it run.
Is anybody actually watching?
What do we got on there right now? We got 15 viewers. What's up, everybody? So it's been ebb and flow up and down.
You're not going to replay it later.
Well, it's permanent. It'll stay on YouTube, this version of it, but then I'll use this to edit out, and I'll actually post a bonus podcast. I think it'll be like a bonus show, but we'll make a podcast out of it.
Cool.
Absolutely. So thanks, Jay.
Sure.
Appreciate you stopping by. you're west of here?
I am north.
You're north.
I'm in Muncie.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Why did I think you were closer
He's in
to
Martinsville.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, I only live like 25
So it's
minutes
a little
from here.
closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you guys both were in the Indianapolis area.
Soon.
But-
Hopefully soon.
Oh, serious?
Not yet. Yeah, we want to move down to the Indy
Okay.
area.
Yeah,
Be a lot closer to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, so we're here live at the Indiana ChaserCon Icebreaker, and I'm actually here with the organizers of the Indiana ChaserCon. We've got JT and Beth are with me. So what I want to ask you guys first is a little bit about, and since you got the microphone, you can answer this first.
Okay.
Where did you get the idea for starting this, and when did it? All right.
He's the founder. I'm going to pass it over
Fair
to
enough.
him.
Fair enough.
So basically, this just started out. Actually, it started out as just a few of like my close chaser friends meeting in one of our houses, and we would do like do chase cases. So we would buy like we had a software from Tim. I was trying to think what his name. Yeah.
What is it called? I can't remember.
Anyways, it's basically a software. It's a simulator, and you can it goes through each Z, from 12Z to 0Z, and you can. So we started out doing basically chase cases just for fun. Tim Vasquez, that's who it is.
Oh, sure.
He makes the software to do that, and so we started doing that, and we started, I don't say we got a bunch of people, but we started getting up, 8, 12 people, and so it's like okay, and we started meeting at B-Dubs. Well, then we're like, why don't we just do a Storm Chasers convention here in Indiana? And, we have a lot of great chasers, Skip Talbot, Adam Lucio, Jen, and all those guys that live, Chicago, Milwaukee, a lot of people here in Indiana too. And we're like, that would be perfect. We don't have to travel, obviously a lot of us still go to Denver or wherever it is each year. But something for people here that can't get out to Denver and make the drive or the flight to come here. So that was kind of the idea. It just started out with a little group of us and has grown so much since then.
So what was the official first year that you did this?
2011 was our first year.
Okay. And do you remember how many people you guys had registered for
I
that
think
one?
I had, because I started out just doing it by myself, we had 24 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in the second year.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when it started growing, is that what you're saying?
Well, not yeah, sort of.
So.
It really was pretty incredible. The first few years, we didn't grow all that much. We went in the first 4 to 5 years, we went from 24 to 35 to 50 to 60 then 75. And then after the 5th year, it just exploded. I mean, to the point that we went from thinking, okay, 80 or 90, being able to seat that many in a venue is going to be fine, to all of a sudden, before we even got to, with our early bird registration, before we even got done with that, a week and a half in, we had sold out and had to go to a different venue. That's how fast it grew. And the interesting thing I always remember was Tim Samaras, when I went out to ChaserCon there, he always said that it was funny because after the 5th year, they exploded. And so I don't know why it is that 5th year, but that's exactly what happened to us. And then last year was a huge year for us. That was our biggest year. So.
And so what do you got this year? How many registered?
I think we have about 115 this year.
Okay.
More will be at the door, but there have been a lot of extenuating circumstances this year. Unfortunately, a lot of wrecks and job losses.
Right.
A few people actually haven't surgery this week, so we're hoping, they've all said,
Get well.
get well for them, and they're excited for next year, so we're excited to have them back.
So tell us a little bit, how many states are you drawn from? From what states?
This year we're it's either 13 or 14. I'd have to look at them out. I think it's 13, plus we do have some people coming from Canada this
we
year.
already spoke to a couple.
Oh, you
couple
did?
Of them. Yes,
I haven't
we did.
even met them
from
yet.
Windsor.
Okay.
Yep. They're
right behind me?
They're over there.
Oh, okay.
Ladies.
I'll have to go say hi to them. But yeah, we've had people from Canada before too. I think they came from Ontario before. I don't remember if they're from Ontario or Quebec.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's not just the Midwest, not just Indiana. We've really grown everywhere. We have people from Texas, Florida, New York, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, down to Dixie Alley. I mean, we thought about changing the name before to make it, seem more open, but from everyone we've talked to, they're like, we just know this is Indiana ChaserCon. Don't do that. You're doing.
You got branding now at this point,
right. So
You've
we're
had
just.
it long enough.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So we're just trying to say, it's open to everyone wherever you're at. Doesn't matter your experience. People think, I have to be a meteorologist or a storm chaser or whatever. This convention is, most of the people are just weather enthusiasts that come from the general public. They want to learn more about storm chasing. They want to know about the weather events that have impacted them. So we get a lot of that too. And I think this year we're actually at like 80% new people, first timers.
No kidding.
So we really love to see the new people coming
Right.
in. Plus a lot, that we've seen return over the last 8 years too. So
Have you guys had any changes to the format that you were excited about, that or has the format kind of stayed the same?
The format's really pretty much stayed the same over the years.
Okay.
One thing that people have liked that we've added are afternoon snacks. So that's
Really?
cookies and stuff.
Nice.
Cheat
Okay.
day. This is the cheat day of the week. We have donuts in the morning, donuts,
Yep.
coffee,
Yeah.
cookies in the afternoon. We're very healthy
Okay.
people. But no, the general format of the convention has stayed the same. We've added more booths over the years, so we try to get more interactive booths. People really like that. So that's one thing we've kind of been focusing on, is trying to get people to come because they really like that.
And how did you end up getting involved yourself, Beth? What was
So we
in
met.
year two? Yeah.
We met the weekend after the Henryville tornado at a severe weather expo in Indy.
Okay.
Sean Casey was there, yeah, and we
Okay.
were going to my sister and I were going to meet him and one of our friends, and JT was one of the people that was there, and we met that day. I forgot his name for a while, and then a few people that were there actually reconnected us like a month or two later, and we're engaged now, so that's kind of crazy too. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
When did you get engaged?
2016.
Okay.
So what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to add, so she came in, and then obviously we started dating and stuff, and she. No, I'm just saying. But when we started dating, she kind of was like, oh, I can help you out, and then now she's like, well, I do all this different stuff for it, and I'm like, yeah. So, anyways, but.
I prepared things, he hosted.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, JT, I know you're actually a speaker tomorrow.
Yeah.
First off, tell me some of the other speakers that you got coming in tomorrow first, and then I got another question after that.
Okay. Yeah, well, we got the great Skip Talbot, and he's coming. He's already here. He's here tonight. I don't know where. Yeah, he's back in the corner talking to Bill, and he's going to be talking about some of his travels over to across the seas to Africa and stuff, about his, not really storm chasing, but his kind of project for measuring weather stations, temperature. It's kind of a global warming project, and I've heard some of his stories. They're crazy and phenomenal, and I'm super excited to hear more. We have him. Let's see, who else do we have? Of course, myself. We have Jeff from the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. I always want to say Fort Wayne, but it's not actually Fort Wayne.
That's what I want.
Yeah. So we have him. We have actually one of Beth's professors. Yeah, from Ball
Really?
State.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know either. You better hold it.
Okay. One of my professors from Ball State University, had him for a lot of different classes and my minor too. But anyway, he was a researcher at the Storm Prediction Center. He still is, actually.
Okay.
He is one of the people that works on reviewing the accuracy of the SPC forecasts and the parameters and what they can do to improve those. So he's going to give us insight onto where they really excel, what they struggle with. There are new parameters that are going to be coming out in the future here that haven't really been, they haven't premiered yet, I guess you could say.
Oh, really?
So
Sneak
going to give us
peek,
some good insight onto what's coming from the Storm Prediction Center. Aaron Rigsby, he's a longtime attendee of this convention. I think he's been here every year but like one or two. He comes from Ohio. He's going to be talking about budgeted storm chasing, so how to, even if it's spur of the moment, like pick up and chase, how you can do that the most efficiently, save as much money.
Nice.
And he's also going to be giving us some information on his hurricane chasing from this year and then Hurricane Harvey last year. So he was down for Michael this year, I think. Was it Michael or Florence? Michael. So Hurricane Michael, that's still, Florida's still recovering from. They will be for a long time. But he was at ground zero there and with Harvey, so he's going to be showing us his first-hand experiences of that.
Cool.
Is that 5 speakers? Gosh.
If it's not, the other one will be a surprise.
That's right. So JT, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about.
All right, so I'm going to be
especially
talking
for people that won't be there.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the infamous Pilger Day, where there was 2 twin tornadoes, beast tornadoes, and I'm just going to go basically back through and kind of reanalyze the atmosphere. Okay, why there? What was there that made maybe not necessarily twin tornadoes, because obviously there's so much more dynamics in the lower atmosphere that we can't measure. But why did that cell go there? What was so great about that atmosphere? We're going to go a little bit into how to properly use GIFs when you're doing some presentations as well. So I love GIFs. I love GIFs, so I've added plenty of those. It's going to be fun. It's going to be it'll be somewhat pretty in depth, and we got talked to Aaron. He has some phenomenal footage and pictures from Pilger, and we're going to use some of his stuff. And
very good.
So yeah,
all right. So I need to ask you two a question. So would you like to play a game about famous dogs in movie and TV? Star Wars, or do you think you might be good with $100,000 pyramid kind of charades kind of stuff?
Pyramid or dogs?
It's up to you. I mean, she is infatuated with dogs.
Okay.
And so I'm feeling like that's going to be our bet. I mean,
not famous ones in movies. I don't watch that many movies.
Well, I watch a lot of movies.
Movies and TV dogs. Okay. All right. So here's the scoop. Let me get this set up.
Okay.
All right. So we call this our lightning round. Okay.
boy.
And so our lightning round, we play this with every guest that we have on the show.
Okay.
And we call it our game show of brilliant and flashy questions we have with our guests, and they have nothing to do with brilliance or being flashy.
Because I'm scared.
Right. So what we're going to do...
Do we have to answer this like Jeopardy? What is a thundercloud?
A little bit, no. So here's what it is, and typically it has nothing to do with weather.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of times it might have something to do with the guests that we have on. Maybe it's a hobby they're responsible for. But we're going to play a version of a $100,000 pyramid, and we're going to do this Stormfront freestyle. Okay. So if you guys are familiar, we did this in episode 18 with Kim Cunningham, who's a former Weather Channel meteorologist. She's actually now a co-host on the show, but she was a guest first. And so we played this with her. And if you're familiar with the $100,000 pyramid, I'm going to have one of you is going to guess, and the other of you has to explain something without using that word.
Okay.
Right? You can't use that word, but you got to describe it. You got to, whatever. Okay.
Great.
And so you're each going to do this once, both of you.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start since you have. Here's how I'm going to do this. So you've got the microphone. So Beth, I'm going to have you start with describing things. All right. And so you go, JT, you've got to guess, right?
Okay.
So you have to guess. I'll have you hold the microphone kind of a little bit in between.
Okay.
you.
Yeah. That'll work.
All right. And so I'm going to give you. So I'm going to give you this. There's the best way to do this. So So I'm going to do this.
I'm not going to be too good at this.
All right, so here's the first
they're
one.
taking
The
me, they're
first one.
blindfolding me
The
now.
first one is called "I'm Melting." I'm melting. So this has to do with things related to the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Because Kim was a big fan. She got into weather because of the Wizard of Oz and the tornado and all that stuff. So these are those are your things that you got to try and get JT to guess.
45 seconds.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
here we go.
roughly 45. So go ahead.
Go now?
Go. Yep.
Okay. Indy could have looked like this animal with a weird haircut. Like
A
that.
munchkin?
No, animal.
A horse?
No, his fur was the same
A
color as
lion?
his, yes. Sweep with this.
A broom?
Yes. On my feet.
Shoes?
Yes. The short people.
Munchkins? Monkeys? Flying monkeys?
What
Tornado.
did we chase? Yes. And we're,
Last one.
state that we chased in.
Oklahoma?
Wichita
Kansas?
there. Yes.
Very good. Very good. You did good. Yeah, close enough. I wasn't keeping track. All
I was
right.
trying to go fast.
That was good. You actually did really good on that. All right, so here we go.
I
So
don't
this
think I
one,
was well.
so Kim Cunningham's also a big fan of old school hard rock music. And so this is called Lick It Up. And this is things related to 80s metal bands.
Okay.
Things related to 80s
Classic rock is my
hair,
favorite, so I feel
hair
like
metal
I'll do
kind of
okay.
bands, okay?
I feel like I'll do okay.
You ready?
Ready.
All right, go ahead.
I hope.
All right. Instrument you play?
Guitar?
Yeah. Enter. It's a song?
Sandman?
Yes. A band, if you swallow it, you'll die.
What?
It's a band, but it's also something if you swallow, you die.
Poison?
Yes. She's mine.
Cherry pie?
Yeah.
Come on
something
now.
you put in your hair.
Hairspray?
Oh. No, you said hair.
Oh,
Keep
you put
going.
hair.
You said
Oh,
hair.
no.
It's a song by Van Halen. It's an action 2. You go up when you do it.
Action 2. Action.
What do
Go up when I
basketball
do.
players do when they dunk the ball?
Fly. Jump.
Yes.
Oh yeah, duh, that song.
Last
From
one.
the heavens has a halo.
Angel.
Yes.
Very good, very good, very good. That was good. All right, good job, guys. Well done, well played. Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming. We're
Yep.
excited to have you again this year.
Who else do we have? So Skip's here. Who else are any of the other speakers
is
here?
Aaron here? Aaron and Jeff were.
I don't think I
here.
saw Aaron yet.
Maybe they will be later.
Yeah, I haven't.
These guys too? Okay. I'll be right over.
They're probably popping in somewhere. Do you want Skip?
I'll get Skip.
Hey, Skip.
Skip.
Skip, Talbot.
Go grab him. Skip. You guys did good on that. I didn't know if we'd be able to use that, and you guys were perfect.
Well, it just so happens classic rock is my favorite, so I was trying to think of all the songs when he was going through.
I didn't ask. What's our prize now?
Pride. So that's what we give away as pride. So you
Okay.
guys just earned lots of pride. So good job on that.
So, all right.
Skip, what's up? Phil Johnson.
Hey.
Nice to meet you, man. How you doing? Grab a seat.
Exit stage right.
Okay, I'm gonna quick ask you a couple things here. Do you know anything about Elvis? Do you know anything about Monty Python's Holy Grail?
A little bit.
Movie.
Little on the Holy Grail.
A little bit on the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do that one. All right. So here we are, Indiana ChaserCon. We're at the pre-party icebreaker coming to you live. And so I'm here with Skip Talbot, who's going to be one of the speakers tomorrow. So first question, where are you from, Skip?
I'm originally from Bolingbrook, a Chicago suburb.
Okay. And so tell us because there are people that won't be here tomorrow, so tell us what you're going to be talking about tomorrow. A sneak peek.
Yeah, some of the guys I storm chase with, they do climate work in Africa. So they needed an extra technical guy to install weather stations in East Central Africa. So I said, Skip, you want to go to Africa and install weather stations? I said, sure. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I talked about storm chasing a couple times at previous conventions. So Joe and Beth said, hey, why don't you talk about your Africa work? So
okay. So tell us a little bit, what was your group responsible for doing? What was this project trying to accomplish?
Yeah, we're just, it's a small group led by Anton Simon. He's a climatologist based out of New York. And with a grant from MacArthur, what we're trying to do is just get climate data out of East Central Africa, the African Great Lakes region in particular. It's kind of a black hole for data. And it's a very diverse and dynamic environment. About a quarter of the Earth's fresh water is there. Endangered species like mountain gorillas and black rhinos and 20 million people. Wow. And we have no idea what the climate is doing there because there's no data. So our job was to go in there and put a bunch of weather stations in and actually get some measurements coming out of there. So.
Okay. And how was it successful? Did you get out what you need to get out?
Yeah, we have a few years worth of data coming in now, enough to plug into weather models and long-term climate models and actually make long-term predictions now about how the region's going to change in the future.
Are you still going to be involved in any of that work?
Yeah, it's an ongoing project,
okay.
And there's talk about more installs and lots of more research needs to be done with the data that's coming in. So, yeah.
What was your connection to get hooked up with this project in the first place?
Yeah, our project lead, Anton Simon, he chased the El Reno storm back in 2013. And I was there as well. Afterwards, we were studying that storm and we collaborated. So that's how I got hooked up with that group is basically we were storm chasers and I got involved in their other projects as well.
Okay.
So.
What, any success on this past season from a chasing standpoint for you?
It wasn't
any activity.
It wasn't a great year for me. I was on the Tescott Day in Kansas. Saw the Tescott tornado from a ways back. I was on the Spout Break in Colorado. That was one of our more fun days. Actually, my most fun day was in North Dakota. We got a little mesovortex tornado, and it spun up right in front of us. It wasn't condensed or anything, but it was really pretty structure. Debris cloud right in front of us and surprised us. We had to get out of the way. But, just kind of
where was that at?
It was Glen Ullin, North Dakota.
Okay.
In June, and
and
we weren't expecting it. It was a little roll cloud that suddenly started to rotate vertically and spun up this little spin up right in the field next to us.
Cool, cool. All right, so one of the things that that we do, Skip, we play with the lightning round. So we do this with each of our guests on the show, and it's just kind of an opportunity to do something fun. We did this, the one I'm going to do with you, we did on episode 50 with Harold Brooks from the Severe Storms Lab.
Nice.
And he was a fan of Monty Python's Holy Grail. So we're going to play Don't Forget That Quote. So I don't know how much of that movie you remember, but we're going to see if you can fill in the blanks of these famous quotes from the movie, okay? All right, so the first one. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of what?
Elderberries.
Elderberries. That is correct. Very good. All right, number 2. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen
swallow?
Swallow is correct. Very good. All right. Number 3. The knights who say
knee.
Knee. Right. Very good. You're on a roll. It's just a flesh
wound.
It's just a flesh wound. All right, number 5. You must now cut down the tallest tree in the forest with a
herring.
With a herring. That is correct. Good luck on that. And anybody who's never seen this show now is wondering why the hell you'd probably even watch it. But all right, number 6 out of 10. What are you going to do? Blank on me?
Bleed, right?
You would be correct.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Bleed on me? All right, number 7. You've got 2 empty halves of blank, and you're just banging them together.
Coconuts.
Coconuts. See, you know this movie. What are you talking about?
It's been so long since I've seen it, but just one of the most quotable movies of all time. Yeah.
All right. If she weighed the same as a duck, she's made of
wood.
Wood. And of course, if she's made of wood, she floats, and if she floats, she's a witch, right? Okay. Number 9. You got 2 left. You're undefeated at this point. Look, that blank's got a vicious streak a mile wide. It's a killer. And it's got teeth
rabbit.
Like this.
Rabbit?
Yes, very good. That is a rabbit. All right, last one. The pressure's on. You're 9 for 9, buddy.
This is the hard one.
All right. So who are you who can summon fire without flint or tinder? There are some that call me
Tim.
Tim.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it and get you on the show. We'd like to have you back on the guest. I'm going to throw 2 dates at you right now. You don't have to give me one of them, but I'm going to give you dates. This next year. We're supposed to be to 2019. That's okay to come on. Did you go chasing with Jennifer at all this year? Okay. Where'd you guys go? All the ones we talked about? All right, so I've got, we're looking to fill February 20th. These are all Thursdays. So we record every other Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. February 21st. And we've got April 4th.
Yeah, February, I guess. I have no idea what I'm doing next year, if I'm coming or going on those dates. So.
Okay. When do you think you'd be able to at least confirm? Don't know.
Next year.
Okay.
A few weeks out, maybe. So April's sketchy because of chase season. But
okay.
Do you know when the other ChaserCon is? That's in February, isn't it?
I can check on, because I got them on Twitter. Do you go to that one every year?
I usually do. I don't know if I'm going to go this year, but I'm just trying to think of potential reasons why something might come up.
Might not work.
But this year it's in Wichita, and I'm not sure which date it is. Brimley's not going. I don't know if I'm going. So.
ChaserCon. It's not wanting to load. Here it is.
Oh, well.
No, I got it. Here it
I
is.
didn't even know if I'm going, so.
It is going to be February 8th to the 10th.
Oh, okay, so it's not
What did
even-
I give you, 21?
21, yeah.
So tell you what, I'll email it to you. And then just if nothing else, can you just respond back?
Sure, yeah.
I think it looks good, so we'll pencil you in, and then
It'll probably work
if,
for me.
if you
so,
know. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And it'd be better than April because I might be chasing. So.
Right. All right. So I'll email that out to you. That'd be great. Cool. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me. All right. See you, bud. Anybody that might still be watching, we might be doing a little video. SVL might be doing a little storm video presentation in just a moment. What's up, man? I'm Phil. We will. So they're going to do like a little video deal, and then I'll come back here and I'll. Excellent. Absolutely. No link or file. All right, we're back. For those of you still watching, thanks for joining us. We've got another couple coming over here in a minute. Where'd they go? Where'd you guys go?
They're all outside.
Oh, I thought you guys were coming over.
Trying.
Oh, okay. They grabbing
He was
people?
getting others to come
Oh,
back, and then
okay.
didn't
I was
make
going to start
it.
with you two, but that's all right.
Actually, I think Nick's only in the bathroom.
Okay, that's
He'll
cool.
probably be back in a
Fair enough.
But we were watching YouTube videos of the podcast the whole ride.
That's what he said, yeah.
I was.
I hope you weren't doing that while you're driving, yeah.
Well,
Or
they
sort
had
of, listening and watching at the same
They
time.
had a whole computer stand set up.
Sure.
Yeah, I was trying to sleep.
Who was it, just the two of you, or who else?
And Carrie.
And Carrie, okay. Got it.
We brought the baby.
All right, so hey, I'm going to ask you this question. Would the two of you know more about famous dogs in movie and TV or Star Wars?
I'd say the dogs because he would know.
Potentially the dogs.
Very least.
Very good.
If those are the only options, it's fine.
Those are the only options right now. So, and what's your names?
His is Nick, Nicholas, Isabella.
Does he go by Nick or Nicholas?
I'd say Nicholas because his media is
Isabella.
Yeah. Bella.
Okay.
And I'm Mariya. Same last name.
How do you pronounce that?
Maria.
Maria.
It just sounded out. Maria.
Great. Awesome. Well, as soon as Nicholas gets in, let me know.
Yeah, I think he's just using that.
Okay.
Hold on. I think he's going to put this on.
All right. Wow, if you heard that, we're playing some music. On the big screen? Oh, they're going to show something? Are you guys going to play something, or what's the plan? Yeah? Okay. Tell you what, let me just quick, I was going to quick do a couple. Let me just quick do them, and then I'll flip it over. Does that work? All right. Where's Nicholas? Tell him to get his butt in here. Come on. Been waiting for you, brother. That's all right. All right, you got the mic?
All right.
You good? All right, so here at the Indiana ChaserCon, we lost kind of our light, so that's all right. It's audio anyways. That's what matters. So we're at the pre-show of the show, I guess, is really what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm here with Nicholas and Maria Isabella, and they came all the way from New York. What was I know you guys had some snow and we've had some ice the rest of this way. What was the trip like?
The trip was a little hairy.
Okay.
We had some icing in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Me and my chase partner, who I drove with, both work full-time jobs, so we both got out of work about midnight.
Okay.
So we left New York and we drove a few hours, and when it started to get a little hairy, we kind of pulled into a rest stop and took a quick nap.
Okay.
And we woke up after like 2 or 3 hours, and the snow was gone, so we continued on our journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you?
We left at 1:30 a.m. and we got here at 6 p.m. right as this was starting.
Okay.
16 to 17 hours.
Yeah.
So you guys are going, like, how much sleep have you had in that time period?
2 hours.
Yeah, who needs sleep, right? You can sleep when you're dead.
I mean, when you're a storm.
And it's my birthday weekend, so drinking.
Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
When
3.5 hours to go.
When you're a storm chaser and you live on the East Coast, you're kind of used to driving endless hours.
Right. All right, so a question I want to ask you guys. So we were talking earlier that you were down this year, and for the first time, was this a first hurricane chase for you or not?
Florence was my first hurricane, and Michael was my second.
Okay, but this year was the first
Yes.
time. Got it. So what you guys were talking a little bit about was it Michael that you guys you were trying to communicate, and you were communicating from home, and tell us a little bit about that story, because I think it's intriguing.
So almost everybody in this room, we all live stream as storm chasers.
Yep.
Most of us use Twitch. So my wife was back at home in New York watching my live stream, and most of us use Verizon because it's the most reliable, typically between storm chasers. And right as Hurricane Michael was making landfall, the Verizon towers went out. So all of the live streams went down. If you had AT&T, which I did, you were one of the lucky ones.
I thought you said you had Verizon.
No, I have AT&T on my cell phone.
Got it, okay.
Our hotspot's are Verizon.
Got it, okay.
So usually we use a camcorder to a laptop, some kind of setup like that. So I threw my cell phone in the window, and I let my live stream roll throughout the eye wall. We were safe in the hotel, but with my cell phone being tied up in the car live streaming, I had no way to communicate to know what's going on.
Right.
So I had no idea that fellow storm chasers were in trouble. They lost their cars. They were potentially missing. I didn't know what was going on.
So how was the
But
communication?
From the
What was your
perspective of
involvement?
seeing it from home, watching things on Twitch, seeing what people are posting on Twitter or talking about on Zello and so on, there were two streamers who we did not know what happened to them at the time.
Okay.
One who, it ended up being that he was the one for a few hours later. We didn't even know what was happening. But him at the time, we thought he was okay, because the last thing we heard was his car floated away. That was the last thing we saw on the stream was my car's leaving by, basically.
Wow.
But we saw he was going into a staircase. It seemed relatively safe until we didn't hear from him for 6-7 hours. And then there was someone else who I didn't know beforehand, who at the time it was like he's disappeared. But he luckily, I think, had contacted the Weather Channel or contacted a family member to contact the Weather Channel and things like that. And so people were able to find out what he was doing within the hour, at least. So it was a bit of a dicey
what
time.
was that time period that probably felt like days? What was that true time period between
During the
when
actual
you were trying to figure out what was going on with him and how to help him, and then you found out he was okay?
So the storm itself was how many hours?
Sorry. So once I found out the eye wall passed of Hurricane Michael,
right,
and I'm back in the car. I go through my chat, my live stream, and people are asking me what happened to Kyle. Is he okay? And that's the first I'm hearing that something happened to Kyle. Now, from where we were in Panama City to Mexico Beach is approximately 9.5 miles. So the eye wall passed. My chase partner had a flat tire from the storm.
Okay.
We fixed that, and we tried to get to Mexico Beach. We have to go help our friend. He's on our team. He's a part of us. His family.
Right.
And we start driving down the main streets, and there's power lines down, there's trees down, and we're trying, and it's impossible to get to him. And that is one of the worst feelings, being 9.5 miles from our friend and not being able to get to him. We don't know what happened to him. And it was just too dangerous for us to try to get closer.
Sure.
Thankfully he's okay, and he eventually made contact. But getting out of Panama City, and the fact that we were in the western eye wall and had that much damage was astonishing to me. I have no doubt in my mind that there was spin-ups going on during this hurricane, little tornadoes. There had to be, to look at the damage. Usually, and the eastern eye wall did get it worse, but the amount of damage that we had on the western side was mind-boggling.
Yeah. So what's the takeaway that you could give to our listeners of a lesson learned from that moment that next time what to avoid or what to do different in that situation?
Never underestimate the storm surge, how quick it comes in.
Okay.
No matter how great of a storm chaser you think you are, every storm is different, every hurricane is different. The storm surge comes in like a tsunami.
Have a fast exit strategy.
Right. If you're able to have multiple cell phone service providers, whether it be a different hotspot,
good point too.
or I know it's a little expensive, but the price is coming down. Satellite phones are up and coming.
Right.
Definitely do that. But at the least, let your loved ones know that you're in a safe place.
Right.
As long as you can.
Good. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. We play a little game with all of our guests you guys might be familiar with. We call it the lightning round. So it's kind of a game show that we play with everybody, and it usually has nothing to do with weather, because it's just kind of something fun we do. And so here's what we're going to do. We did this with, this was from episode 20. We did this with Chris Sanner, who's a storm chaser in Oklahoma. He was actually a co-host on the show for a little while as well. But we're going to do this Family Feud style. Okay, so you guys are going against each other.
All right.
And we're going to start the Family Feud style. This is Time Magazine's most famous dogs in movie and television. Most famous dogs in movie and television. So I don't know if you guys are dog fans or know anything about dogs. We're going to do this. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're just going to leave this at the top 10. All right? And since you've got basically, your goal in Family Feud is you pick one. You think that might be the highest.
Okay.
Top 10 answers. Famous dogs in movie and TV. What do you think?
So I have to name the type of dog?
Name a dog, like a character dog. In
Wishbone?
movies and television. What's that?
Wishbone?
Wishbone. That's a good guess. Wishbone is not in the top 10. So flip it over to Maria. So Maria, you get a guess as well.
Airbud? He's a
Airbud, who I'm very familiar with Airbud as well. His name is Buddy, but he's actually not in the top 10. So, boy, this is going to be a good one, isn't it? All right, Nicholas.
I don't even know if we're
go
going to
ahead.
make it
Pick another movie or TV dog. Could be real, could be fake, could be
Scooby-Doo.
animated. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is second on the list. So Maria's got one more shot to at least try and get the first one.
Well, I don't know what that'd be first, but then I
What are
have
you
to
gonna
go
go
with
with?
Scrappy-Doo. But
no one likes Scrappy. Scrappy sucks. No one's like Scrappy. You know when they talk about flying, what's that? Jumping the shark. That's when Scooby-Doo jumped the shark, is when Scrappy came on. Okay, so Nicholas, here's the deal now. With Family Feud, you've got control.
Okay.
So you can either try and guess all 10 before you get 3 strikes and you win.
Okay.
But if you don't and you get 3 strikes, she just has to guess one of the remaining ones to win. Or you can turn it over to Maria. She's got to try and get all 10 before 3 strikes. And if she doesn't, you just have to try and pick one to get it. So he's going to turn it over. All right, so Maria, you got control of the board. We already have Scooby-Doo is off, but there's 9 other
literally
dogs.
got maybe one more.
Okay.
Marley from Marley and Me?
Let me see. Hold on. And judges, that would be a no. So that's a strike. All right, let me see if I can give you hints. Think, think Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Toto.
Toto. Toto is number 1 on that list. All right, does that help at all? Get you some ideas?
Not really.
Okay. Some of these are animated movies, so think Disney animated movies, dogs.
Oh.
Some are TV animated dogs.
I don't know that helps in any way.
Okay, so that's 2 strikes. Do you have time to think of another one?
I don't think I'm getting there.
Okay, so Nicholas, you just have to guess
right.
one, and you win. And if
I know
you
the
don't,
show. I don't know the dog's name. What's the one from the Jetsons?
that would be Astro.
Yes.
Astro is not on there.
Oh
so
no! So we both lose.
No, so it actually goes. we get Maria. Maria wins, right? So Maria's the winner. Here it is. I didn't know it. So here's the other one. Snoopy. Miss Snoopy. Brian Griffin from Family Guy. Lassie. I don't know. There's Benji. Hold on. There's Benji. There's Beethoven. Lady and the Tramp. Hooch from Turner and Hooch. And Rin Tin Tin were the top 10. The other remaining ones is Charlie Barker and All Dogs Go to Heaven, Shadow and Chance from Homeward Bound, Steve from The Little Rascals, Santa's Little Helper from Simpsons, Otis from Milo and Otis, we already mentioned Buddy from Your Bud, Gidget Chihuahua from Papa Bell, and the last one was so,
Now we know.
Good job, guys.
All right. Thank you
Nice
for having
talking to you
us.
guys. Nice talking to you. Enjoy. All right, you guys are up. You're good. Go. You're good. Hey, do you want a microphone? You want to talk or no? All right.
Paul got it live.
Burger Mondays is the place to be. Gonna get some burgers and some milkshakes.
Staring at a crappy rainbow. Passing like rainbows. No, it's a rare atmospheric optic. Garbage. 25 feet from the truck. Wow! That was great. Kind of.
It's on the ground. It's on the ground right now. Tornado on the ground.
Northeastern Comanche County in southwestern Oklahoma, southern Brady County behind the monster.
Got another tornado. Tornado number 3. Tornado number 3. A lot of motion in that, Matt. A lot of motion. Full wind spells. Tornado! 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 It's on the ground!
That is a full-fledged tornado. You just can't see if there's being debris lofted on the bottom, but it is a full-fledged tornado right now. Wow! Please somebody take a snapshot on the stream, because that looks amazing. Oh. That is the darndest thing I've ever seen.
Hey guys, we are just about 5 miles due west of the core of the Aurora storm. Got it on camera, but can't see anything. It's rain wrapped as heck.
Up there, right? See it right over there? Huh? Like, right on top of the hill there? Tip the camera up a little bit, because that's interesting, right there.
Here with this story. Look at the green on the back side of this. Right below the sun. to me at Scott City that night. Right when I got in a good spot, he charged at me. And this is why they say there's no place like Nebraska. Look at that. Wow.
Alright, stream is up. We got high winds and my truck is a rocket. Not sitting still.
Don't be complacent that just because it makes landfall at 90-mile-per-hour winds, that it's not going to do a lot of damage. This thing's going to do damage.
Ooh. Yeah, this is major here, guys.
Back up, back up.
Wow. Got a lot of fire flashes going on right